As far as disastrous Kickstarters go, Mighty Number 9 is up there among the most infamous. This was a game that showed so much potential as a spiritual successor to the beloved Mega Man series. You had the renowned Keiji Inafune as its lead director, the art for the game looked amazing, and this just seemed like a great recipe for a new brand of action platformer in the absence and neglect of the Mega Man series. By the end of its campaign, Mighty Number 9 ended up raising close to $4 million from 67,000 backers. Everything about this game just seemed to click, and it seemed to be on its way to greatness. But following the successful campaign, everything went awry. When they finally showed the game, it looked nowhere near the quality that its initial concept art did. On top of that, a combination of broken promises, numerous unprecedented delays, general mismanagement and miscommunication, and the balls on Inafune to start another video game Kickstarter even before Mighty Number 9 was finished, led to lashback from backers, fans, and gamers alike. This other project, by the way, is the already infamous Red Ash: The Indelible Legend, which is intended to be a spiritual successor to Mega Man Legends. Not only did this project rightfully fail to meet the 800,000 Kickstarter goal, it was later announced that a Chinese game company called Fuse would be financing this game. Basically, a low-key publisher, a move that went against the spirit of Kickstarters and crowdfunding in general. But this new project's greatest sin was the message that it sent to those who backed the yet unfinished Mighty Number 9. Keiji Inafune actually thought that his backers and fans would be stupid enough to fund another one of his projects when Mighty Number 9, which was still unreleased, was already heading in a collision course. He basically treated them like sheep, believing that his name carried so much weight that he could do no wrong in their eyes, that they would follow him blindly. The entire fiasco was a joke, and in the end, after one more delay following Keiji Inafune's promise that there would be no more delays for this game, when the game finally launched on June 21st, 2016, the game was met with universal criticism from journalists, backers, fans, and general gamers. Thus, Mighty Number 9 went down in history as one of the most disastrous, infamous Kickstarter campaigns of all time. Now, the campaign's troubles didn't end once the game launched. There was still the matter of physical rewards that they had to ship. Certain tiers promised things like posters, t-shirts, art books, strategy guides, physical game boxes and manuals, and various signed materials. To this day, some of those physical rewards have been fulfilled, while others have not, and who received what varies from person to person. Well, over the last few days, Mighty Number 9 backers have been receiving one of those belated physical rewards, the retro Famicom or NES-style boxes and accompanying retro manuals for the game. Now, you would think that they cannot fuck up boxes and manuals, but then again, this is Mighty Number 9, so they would fuck it up. So here's what was promised. The reward description for the retro instruction manual states the following: an actual physical, full-color instruction booklet to go along with your actual physical game box, just like the old days. The Western version and Japanese version of the manual look slightly different from each other, in addition to being in different languages, of course, but both will be similar in style to the typical 8-bit manuals from their respective territories. Then we have the reward description for the Western or Japanese physical game box, which states the following: sure, as a download title, Mighty Number 9 doesn't technically need a physical box, but then you don't technically need to breathe, do you? Well, yes, of course you do, just like you need this box. Satisfy that inner collector, old-school gamer itch by having Mighty Number 9 take its place among the side-scrolling action games of yore on your desk, shelf, or Ocean's 11-style laser tripwire-protected display case. This will be shipped to you with the printed instruction manual, see the next entry below, already inside. It won't have the game in it because you're getting that via the download code, but hey, put whatever else you want in there. The Western-style box will be patterned after the NES game box dimensions and style, while the Japanese version will be Famicom-esque. Alright, so these were the promises that were made during the Kickstarter campaign, and here is what finally shipped. As the reward descriptions noted, there are two versions of the boxes and manuals, Western and Japanese. On the left is an image of the Western version, and on the right is an image of the Japanese version. Right off the bat, the first problem is that you have to assemble the box yourself. Not the biggest deal in the world, but very representative of Mighty No. 9 as a whole, a half-assed product. Now, where the problem arises is in the instruction manual. Turns out that if you got the Japanese Famicom version of the box and manual, the manual doesn't even fit inside the box. The manual is both horizontally and vertically bigger than the box itself, so it won't fit unless you roll it or fold it in there. You may recall from the box's reward description that it was supposed to ship with the printed instruction manual already inside. In other words, not only was the box supposed to be pre-assembled, more importantly, the manual was meant to fit in the pre-assembled box. Their words. But the final version of the Japanese box and manuals just don't work that way. Fortunately, those who picked the Western NES version of the box will find that the Western manual does fit in. You still have to assemble the box and put the manual inside yourself, but at the very least, the manual does fit. Now here's another problem, one that affects both the Japanese and Western version of these rewards. You may recall that the reward description for the instruction manual clearly stated that it would be full color. Yeah, the final version of the manual's not full color in the least. They are sort of a blue-tinted grayscale instead. So, not only do you have a game that failed to deliver on many of its promises and ended up being a subpar product, you also have physical rewards from the Kickstarter campaign that failed to deliver on their promises and that ended up being subpar products. I'd be pissed, but I'm not in the least bit surprised by any of this. This couldn't have been a more perfect ending to this train wreck of a story. It's almost poetic. On the other hand, I'd be laughing, but this shit's too depressing to think about. But hey, better than nothing, right?
Even if it's not perfect, it's better than nothing.
So yeah, there you go. One last fuck you from Mighty No. 9. A half-assed Kickstarter campaign and a half-assed game from a half-assed game developer. From the bottom of our hearts, a sincere fuck you to you, Keiji Inafune, for lying to your fans and backers, for taking advantage of your community, for failing gaming, and for doing jack shit to take responsibility. You'd make an excellent con man because that's what you did. You conned your supporters. Oh man, how the mighty have fallen. Let us know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are about the entire ordeal. Also, if you enjoy my content, I hope you'll consider supporting us on Patreon to help our community remain independent from corporate interference. And to be further updated on all things video game news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out!